Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all. Good to see you, Gail. Good to see you, Brayhard. Good to see you, Rox. Good to see you, Mel. And Gail, congratulations. You have won the crown of Firstendom this way. You have upset Roxy in doing so, but it's just the way of things. But I give you the crown of Dirt, because we're playing as Terra today. So Terra, Earth, Dirt. You have the crown of Dirt. Congratulations. And it's good to see you too, Mel. I hope you're doing well. Did you change jobs? Like, where are you at with all of that, or are you back to being allowed to have it on while you're at work? Either way, glad to have you here. But yeah, so we're gonna be diving into more Birth by Sleep. I wanted to talk about a game I played over the weekend though that I think you should play. It's called Poco, Poco. It's a point and click adventure game. It only takes like 45 minutes. It's free. It's free. It's on Steam. It has an amazing art style and a fantastic soundtrack, and it's weird. It is so unbelievably weird, but you know what? It is a trip from beginning to end. I recommend playing it. Oh, you've got a Crown of Dirt. There you go. Hey, let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. Let's play some Birth by Sleep. You're on your lunch break, have not changed jobs, so no longer really looking. Things seem to be going okay. They lifted my performance improvement plan, and I will be eligible for the second quarter bonus. Hey, that is great to hear, Mel. That is fantastic. I'm super happy to hear that things are getting better there, and that you're eligible for the bonus. That's big. That's huge. Let's go. So last time, we beat up Braig, because he abducted Xehanort, and Xehanort's like, oh, you should use the darkness, it will help you. Oh. It's like, oh, that's not suspicious at all. Okay, let's go to the place with the most darkness, Disney Town. So able to talk to them, not firing me, and then, like 6 days later, talk them into improvement plan, told them they'd be dumb to let me go, and the only reason I was having trouble at the beginning was I had car trouble. That's a valid reason to have trouble. And not one that's like based on, you know, you. And Gale, you have redeemed a father joke, and I do not apologize for this one. What is the scariest plant in the forest?
And thanks for piping up.
It's the bamboo.
There. I mean it. The name's Terra.
It's nice to meet you, Terra. What are you, nuts? Running out onto the course like that? Yeah, that's against the rules. I'm sure you had your reasons, but I can't say that I approve either.
Well, rules don't apply when you're up against the unversed.
Rules don't apply? You sound just like Pete. Look, it's Captain Dark.
Yeah, you...
Disguised
Ends don't justify the means here, Terra. You're both her.
And you must be the chump who made me miss a new track record. Hold on. How's come I don't know you? Somebody bringing in a ringer?
Oh, I'm not even a racer.
Must be downright temptatious to try and stop a primo racer like me from getting a record, but we all gotta play by the rules, rookie.
What?
Now,
How dare they?
You're the no-good cheater.
Have that thing towed.
Well, I can't say racing interests me, but I need to defeat the unversed. Tell me what I've got to do.
Are you talking about all those carts that look like scary, ugly monsters? Well, we've only ever seen the monsters on the track. That's it! Terra, you just need to enter the races. And while you're at it, take that Captain Dark down a notch or two. He's always breaking the rules and causing trouble.
I have to become a racer?
Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you.
I know. I'll play by the rules.
The writing of this section feels like it
Terra's gonna be a new
skipped a
racer.
conversation.
Just come talk to me whenever you're ready. I'll get you signed up and everything.
Banana high chews. High chews. Hey, I gotta say, those candies I had, I forgot their name already. I ate all 3 bags over the weekend. Yeah, the low sugar ones. They were called... I forget what they're called. You only have 3 left, but it sounds like you're taking 3 home to Roxy. Rude. Father Heaven has spoken. Candy for the wife. Is this an abuse of power? No, I think it's fine. Disney Town, I thought it was called Celebration. No, we celebrate good times. Come on. 2 banana high chews left. Get donked on, you singular nerd. So with Terra, all you have to do is the race, but, you know, treasure chests. If I don't open them, who will? I go through nearly a pack of gum a day at work, so my jaw looks like an anvil. It's a lot of gum. It's cheaper and healthier than smoking. This is true. This is incredibly true in so many ways. If you saw the Discord message, I warned you. The Mickey Mouse March is stuck in my head, and it'll be stuck in yours too. I don't think your cousin has the right logic there. That's a bit of a stretch.
Take that! Take that!
Man, Terra is so bad at jambling.
You're done!
I wonder if it's a mimic. Excuse me, I was busy talking to that treasure chest.
Gather!
I don't have enough thunders to activate that. Mimics aren't real, right? Oh, and last time I was confused about a Xehanort report. I figured it out. You do have to do it as Terra in the Mirage Arena, but it's you have to beat a certain combat trial thing. Words am hard.
Want some?
Well, since I have Rock Breaker, it'd be rude not to use it and fight someone with it.
Want some? Take that. Want some?
There we go. Okay, let's enter a race. Ready to try some Rumble racing? If I have to. Accelerate with X, brake with square. Make sharper turns. Circle. Triangle. 4 buttons I have to remember to press? This is going to be impossible. My acceleration is terrible. Oh, I forgot how bad this feels.
See ya. Bring it.
Oh.
See ya.
Ah! The drift turn is too sharp.
Bring it.
Honestly, I don't think this would be winnable if it wasn't for the shortcut. Human beings are just not meant to comprehend this level of speed.
See ya. Bring it.
I thought that was the last lap already. Never have to do that again. Until I decide to replay Birth by Sleep.
Oh, my cart must have sprung a spring. You yahoos, just wait. Next time I'll clobber all of you.
Yippee! I hope he's gone for good. Nobody's gonna vote for a weasel like you, Pete!
Pete. Vote? What are you talking about?
Chip means the Million Dreams Award. It's a very popular part of our Dream Festival. everyone
You
in
wanna talk about
town
this
votes
before?
for who we think is the most exemplary citizen.
And since everybody knows how much of a troublemaker Pete is, he probably figured wearing a disguise was the only way he'd get any votes.
No votes, no prize.
Yeah.
So
the
Tara's
prize is all
getting
he
3
really wants
votes.
anyway.
Ventus is
He
getting
doesn't
3
care about
votes.
being a good citizen.
Oh, I think that's very sad. The award is supposed to help us appreciate how much we all look out for each other every day.
Well, one thing I know for sure, I'm voting for Tara. Your racing really saved the day against those monster carts. Hip hip hooray for Tara!
Well,
Is he even
I got
eligible?
something
He's not
out
a
of it, too.
citizen.
I learned that you don't always have to bend
He's
the
just a
rules
guest.
to reach your goals.
He's just here for the day.
Oh,
All this time, I've been staring into the darkness. But that doesn't mean I have to jump in.
Tara, what is that even supposed to mean? Why are you staring at the darkness? Maybe turn around, my dude.
Stay back.
Wow, I actually got a jackpot for once.
Gather! Say goodbye! Take that! Gather! You're done! Gather!
You know, this theme feels fairly large, this area, and you can tell how big the city is. Man, 3 makes this pale, or
Want some?
yeah, makes this pale in comparison.
You okay?
Yeah, thanks. Guess they were too much for me. I'm just gonna have to train harder. You're pretty tough. You really handled those things. Are you here to enter the games?
What games?
The games. To see who's strongest. One day, I'm gonna win them all and become a true hero.
Hank, where are you? Front and center right now, or I'm tacking on another 1,000 laps.
Uh-oh. Gotta go. The Coliseum's just up ahead. I hope I get to see you fight there sometime!
A competition.
The
I should
games.
find out how strong I really am.
That's very descriptive.
Jeez Louise, one chump after another. It's like a who's who of Decathlon disasters around here. All I need is one measly warrior tough enough to give Zeus a jolt of his own medicine. Wait. Dark, moody, powerful? Yes, he's perfect.
This is it.
How sad is this?
Huh?
Pains me to see it. All that power going to waste.
Who are you?
Name is Hades, Lord of the Dead, God of the Underworld, yada yada, how you doing? Hey, let me guess. You're trying to put the kibosh on the darkness inside you. Am I right? Of course I'm right. Well, anyway, bad idea.
Wait, what?
Okay, stay with me. Darkness is inside everybody. Nothing to be ashamed of. You play nice with it, and darkness will be your best friend. But if you go and get all self-conscious and refuse to face it, the darkness will run over you like a debutante at a toga sale. And then where are you? Nowhere. Now me, I look at you, and I see potential. That's right, kid. You got the potential to conquer the darkness inside you. And I'll even give you some pointers. I mean, believe me, if anybody knows conquering, I know conquering.
Well, let's hear it then. How do I conquer the darkness?
Easy. You sign up for the games. I know. Please, Lord Hades, the games. But hey, you would be surprised what you can learn in the heat of battle. And don't worry, I'll be right there to guide you every step of the way.
I'm glad the raid
I'm
train
kind of what
emote's
you'd
getting
call an
rediscovered.
expert in the art of darkness. Oh, decide fast. This is a limited time offer.
Hades is disturbingly insightful there, considering how much of a fool he's played as in the rest of the series. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Thank you for follow. Welcome to the channel. Just can't apply his own lessons. That's fair.
When are you gonna tell me how to conquer the darkness?
Hold your chariot horses. You would not believe the bureaucracy involved with these things. Name?
Terra.
Kind of earthy, but all right. Now,
Earthy.
height and weight. What's this? Favorite god? Come on, Hades. There, ba-boom. Easy peasy. I sense that you're already starting to get all warm and fuzzy with that darkness inside you. It's sweet, really. And hey, by the time you win the final match here, you'll have figured out how to conquer it for good. And don't worry, anything goes wrong, I'll make it all go away. Service with a smile.
I got it.
It's a shame that they were fairly limited on time. So I think there's some really interesting interactions between Hades and Terra here that could have done with a little bit more conversation.
Take that! Gather! Take that!
Want some?
So long! Gather!
What if we just put y'all, just put a thumbtack in this conversation? Ah! I keep forgetting that I have that finisher unlocked now.
Gather!
that was just my brain.
Gather. Gather.
Yeah, it turns out the magnet ability is busted.
Gather. Gather.
Sephiroth has been known to show up in these games as a bonus boss. Is he diegetic? And if so, what is he exactly? He's not a very good diegetic. He doesn't help you lose weight. I think it's mostly snake oil. Also good to see you set your log off.
Take that.
Wow. That's tough to bear, Roxy.
Gather.
I don't understand what's happening in chat. Well. Neither do I, but I'm just going with it. She's bullying me. That's fair.
Okay, this is not what I had in mind.
The internet keeps your
Okay,
identity
Advise,
safe.
time for Plan Beta.
Pardon me, coming through. I'm gonna miss my match.
Hello, Plan Beta. Hey, kid.
Huh?
You ever
Over
been called
here.
Plan
Come here.
Beta?
Once I've conquered the darkness in my heart, I'll never have to fear it again.
Terra, you're being duped. You're being led deeper into the darkness. You have to- well, you know.
Want some? Come on. You can't escape.
No, your jets.
Gather. Heal.
I can do that too.
Take that.
So he's being duped, but Terra is not burdened with an overbalance of insight. No, he really does live up to the Terra portion of his name.
You can't escape.
He's not the sharpest bullet in the shed.
You can't escape.
Darkness? Hello, darkness, my new friend.
Hey, stop it! The match is over! He was a pushover before. What's gotten into him?
It's not me.
What?
I'm not doing this.
He's being controlled.
So what do you think? You like my new super warrior? See, right here. It's the power of darkness. Could have been yours, still could, if you open up to it.
Hades! You were just playing me.
No.
Darkness will never have me.
Well,
Help me. You've gotta set my heart free.
why does Hades care? Because he's trying to use Terra. Whoa, no, whoa.
Heal! Want some?
You can't escape.
Well, actually, it appears that I can because I dodged your attack.
Take that! Come on!
You can't escape.
Want some? Come on!
This fight looks surprisingly like the first.
Heal!
It's over.
Except he has that move.
You can't escape.
Hey, Exalting. Thank you for the prayers. Good to see you. Sorry, Moobot has opinions about symbols.
Forget it. It looks like I bet on the wrong dark horse. That kid doesn't have what it takes to handle darkness.
You gonna make it?
Yeah. I'm finally free. Where is...
He's gone.
Man, how could I let a guy like him control me? I'll never live it down. Thanks.
Terra.
Thanks, Terra. I'm Zack.
Are you going to start doing squats?
Yep. Definitely. Terra, you're exactly what I pictured a hero would be.
Well, you've got the
way
pointy
you
hair
look.
already, so...
There's something else about you.
Well, I'm no hero. Trust me.
You kidding? Listen to those cheers, man. You don't get to decide if you're a hero or not. They do. And they've already made up their mind. Whether you like it or not, you're their hero. And mine, too. It's too bad. I really wanted to fight you fair and square.
Maybe someday, Zack.
Thank you, Exalting. Good to see you. We need to do some command melding, because we haven't done that lately. Never mind, I have nothing to meld. So if Terra's design is inspired by Cloud, who's imitating Zack? Is Terra a Zack clone? If Terra's design is inspired by Cloud. Area the 1. No, I just no. Yeah, it just makes the head hurt. Might need to buy some things when we get to a shop here in Deep Space. Final Fantasy VII can't possibly be 28 years old. It's only 2025.
Here?
Oh dear. The Tempest really does Fugit. What about a 2-year-old game? Well, I mean, it's a remake of an older game, so I don't think it really counts. Spaceship. Spaceship. Someone tried to claim spoilers on a century-old story. I got nothing.
Is he the one?
Yes, Grand Councilwoman. I've confined him until we can determine what he is.
Why am I under arrest? Your ship abducted me.
Take cover. Leave it to me to handle these fiends. Whatever you are, you're under arrest. Eventually.
Unversed.
Cannot believe I was spoiled on the ending of Oh Brother Where Art Thou by the opening
I'll give
sequence
you a
saying
fight.
this is in fact the Odyssey. I mean, that's just literacy right there. Oh, I've already heard you spoiled it. I was like 2,000 pages in. I only had like another 1,000 to go.
Take that! Get
You guys are jerks.
heal! Here! Here! Heal! Gather! Here! 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 Here!
It would be really annoying to try and lock up a Keyblade wielder. Yeah. I mean, that does come up in one of the games. I forget which. They're like, aha, we have you. And they're just like, okay, and just unlocks. I think it's Sora. I forget what game, but I swear that happens. Yep, wrong button.
Very impressive display. Wait! You help! I have been imprisoned on ridiculous charges.
Is that so?
I am innocent scientist who created the galaxy's most destructive, constructive species of all time.
Oh, that
Why,
makes
my
me trust
experiments
you.
would annihilate creatures you fought so hard. He is bulletproof, fireproof, and can think faster than supercomputer. He can see in the dark and move objects 3,000 times his rather diminutive size. And for reasons preposterous, the Federation Council fears him. They take him away from me and throw me here in small, stuffy, rather badly lit cell.
Because he's so powerful?
Exactly. Everyone always gets antsy and pantsy when somebody more powerful is in the neighborhood. You understand, perhaps? We must make to rescue him, or he'll be banished to far reaches of space.
Okay then. Take me to him.
Terra. Terra, I want you to just think critically once in your life.
Experiment 626. His name I give to adorable fluffy creature you're helping her to rescue. And I am genius scientist who created him, Dr. Jumbo Jukiba.
I'm Terra.
Pleasure is all ours. 626 is this way. Hurry!
Rota. You did read today's gospel. What was it? Don't tell me. Oh yeah, judge not lest you be judged, but there's a bit in it where Jesus talks about, you know, remove the plank from your eye before you remove the speck of dust from your brother's. And yeah, I think it's a lesson that's fairly obvious in its meaning. But it's also one that I point to of, like, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, the Bible's too dry. It's like, there is humor in the Bible. It's just written for another culture thousands of years ago. Like, we don't always have to get it. But I do like to think and imagine the disciples having a bit of a chuckle at that line. Terra often thinks critically, most being critical of himself. Well, okay. Lab work must away. Take care, Step Zero. Have a good day. Okay, work with me, camera. I need all the treasure chests. And that sticker. I need that sticker. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything in here. I should save. Considering what happened that one time. So no, she's really good at games he saves. I hear voices. Get that checked out, Terra.
Take that!
Let's see if I have anything to melt. Yes, I do. Let's go. Quick Blitz. Slot Edge. Fire elemental attacks. Increase the damage. One day, one of these thank you, finally has to give me an HP boost. Look, I have maxed out item boost. I did not remember this section. Well, this is an area of overlap. We were here as Ventus.
Take that!
Oh.
Fire!
Good job. Good job. Good job, Terra. Stopped using the fire, or stopped targeting.
Fire! Heal!
Truly a wannabe Keyblade Master. I know!
Heal! Gather! Fire! You're done!
I hate these turrets. I hate these turrets. I hate these turrets.
Heal! Want some? So long!
Get over
Take
here.
that!
There. Now we can go treasure hunting in peace. I have no idea if this is the way to go, but this is the way we're going.
Heal!
Well, given the presence of treasure chests in the back. No! Trying to get that one treasure chest.
You're done!
What if I just ignored everything else in there? Ooh, a store. Zentensuken is a really good ability, but man, 1,700 money? Get maybe a fire strike and another freeze raid. Get those things cooking, because then we can combine the Magneras to make Magnega. And we can combine the Curas to make Curaga. Then maybe the freeze raids and the fire things will play nice and combine. I don't know.
Take that!
Stickers! Balloons go in the sky. Street. Yeah, I remember a UFO at the race. Don't you?
Want some?
Amazing, is it not? Such tremendous power in such itty-bitty package. Truly, he's the one, and that's the only. The mightiest creature in all of galaxy, and his only singular instinct to destroy everything he touches. See?
What?
When did you... Give that back!
You little thief.
Bullet is already marked for destruction.
No, stop! My friend gave me that!
Friend? Are you joking? That concept is totally lost on 626.
Funny. This whole time I've been telling myself I want to be stronger, more independent. But the second I let my heart do the talking, I find out how little I really know myself, and how much I miss them. That experiment of yours, you sure about him? Maybe in his heart he wants friends, just like the rest of us.
Impossible, Petty. He has no actual feelings, only destructive instincts I have carefully chosen for him. Or perhaps you need another demonstration of my evil geniusness.
Wait, you were evil this whole time? How could you, Jumbo?
Heal! Want some? Take that!
Supposedly they got rid of the Russian accent in the live action one. I heard that. And I'm very upset about that. And the rest of the live action remake. But come on, it's like his defining features, the bad Russian accent. It's the turrets again. Yeah, I know. I know. I was dodging. Why was it not moving me? Stud luck. How you doing, by the way, Squirrel? Good to see you.
Want some?
Fire! Heal!
You stun-locking jerk, you.
Heal! Let's go. So long. Heal.
Want some?
Why are you like this?
Take that!
Oh, you'll be all right, little one. Huh?
You know, what would happen if they went to the live-action remake world in Kingdom Hearts?
What is it? Why have
Would
you
sort of be like,
returned?
oh, I know you, and then the characters be like, who are you?
Maybe he's wondering what a friend is.
Ridiculous.
My name is Terra.
Terra.
Yes. I can't explain friendship. When you feel it, you'll know it.
Not if I have any say in matter. You are only meant to think about what it is you will destroy next. Now, I fix what is wrong with you.
Red alert, red alert. Experiment 626 and 2 prisoners have escaped from the cell bay. Security, locate the fugitives immediately. Repeat, experiment 626
Not so fast.
and 2 prisoners have escaped from the cell
Well,
bay.
can't stay here and get caught.
Time to just show myself out.
Ven, Aqua, I'll find some way to make things right.
First of all, save. And let's see if we can meld some things yet. We can meld our cures. That's good. Yeah, Curaga with Magic Haste. That's actually huge. How much do I know about the Book of Proverbs? Not a ton. Wisdom literature is not my area of expertise by any means, but I could take a stab at something if you got a question.
What are they, Captain? Back! You'll not get me, treasure!
Leave
How
him to
often
me.
does your greed generate monsters, Hook? When are you going to learn? I was wondering why only the NAB and not NABRE translation. They shove chapter 6, verse 22 into chapter 5. That's an interesting question. I feel like that's not just knowledge of Proverbs, but like knowledge of the different translations. If I had to guess, there are certain verses where we're not sure which. There's arguments to be made as to whether or not it belongs to the end of this or the beginning of that. It shows up sometimes in the Psalms, where we're like, and this is why we have sometimes different numbering of Psalms in different Christian traditions, is because could this psalm be split into 2 psalms, or is it one big psalm? So I would hazard to say it's something like that. And I mean, particularly with wisdom literature, when it's, Proverbs in particular is just kind of quick, short statements. It can be easy to see. It's like, I can see this going either way into either chapter and still being coherent. You know? Does that make sense?
Gather. Heal. One.
Oh! You guys fed kidneys. I got distracted by monkey. Oh, dang it. Oh, no. Gotta remeld those cures really quickly. Because I pressed continuance every try. Yeah, that's what you figure for the most part, but why only that translation versus other translations I'm reading made that decision, especially when A B backpedal on that decision? Yeah, and you know, that's the reality of when you have a revised edition. You know, if you weren't going to change anything, you wouldn't have a revised edition. And sometimes people can just be very particular, be like, yeah, this, since I'm in charge of this translation, it's going to be this way. So, you know, could be tied to that. You know, there's a story, and I don't know how true it is, but it sounds pretty good, of the guy in England under Henry VIII who's in charge of doing a translation of the Bible.
Want some?
It wasn't Henry VIII. It was, anyway, it was after Henry VIII and the whole beginning of the Protestant Reformation. They were working on a new translation of the Bible, and he was working on Genesis.
Heal.
I took a lot of damage.
Take that.
To have my defense somehow. Anyway, this guy went on a voyage to North America, you know, the new continent at the time, and the things he saw, I think he was in Jamaica in particular, but the things he saw, he came home and he actually burned his translation of Genesis. What was like, this does not do a good enough job of capturing what the new creation of God was like. And he felt that what he experienced in Jamaica was closer, so he had to completely rewrite it. We have a book/set of books that you feel focused in. Apparently, one of my priests has a focus in the book of Daniel. I don't feel particularly well versed in any particular area of scripture, like in and of itself. I'm more of a jack of all trades. You do not, bad monkey.
Take that!
It's not tech. It's Apocrypha, but I'd like to. I think it'd be interesting to say the Book of Jubilees. You spent a lot. I have spent more time studying liturgical practice and rites.
If I desired your
That is an area of
assistance,
theology I would say I'm
we had the
more well
situation
versed
under
in
control. Isn't that right, Smee?
than others. But again, you know, when you study for the priesthood, you kind of get a little of everything.
Giving him a little of this and this. And don't think your efforts mean you'll get a share of me treasure. Understand?
But I just saved you.
I'm not after your precious box, Captain. I'm looking for a person. A boy wearing a mask. Ring any bells?
No, not a one.
Figures.
Smee! you
Different
blithering
traditions and church
barnacle.
practices are interesting. They are
You're off.
indeed.
We shall leave this place before the light draws them back again.
I mean, even one's own liturgical tradition
hold
can be
on.
fascinating and
What did you
studying
just say
how it's
about the
changed
light?
over the years.
Ah, yes, it's heartbreaking, really. This chest, you see, contains light gathered from all around. And I've got an acquaintance, a boy, who's sure to try and seize it.
A boy who's after the light. If it's not Vanitas, then who? Hey, why don't I help you keep the light safe? Maybe you could tell me more
Terra.
about this boy who's troubling you. What's his name?
Peter Pan!
Oh yeah, that name just sounds ruthless.
This chest must be brought to Skull Rock safely. Don't let that Peter Pan anywhere near it.
Right. I got you covered.
Did you want to ask where Skull Rock is? No? Directions are overrated. Combine this Fyra and this Binding Strike. Pulsing Crystal. Ooh, finish boost. That's pretty good.
Want some?
Oh yeah, I got a new Keyblade. I forgot to check if that one's better.
Want some?
It's a little weaker in strength, but better in magic, but Terra's mostly about Unga Bunga.
So long! Gather! Take that! Say goodbye! Take that! Take that!
Down with the monkey. Should be able to meld... Aha, yes. Magnera and Magnera into Magnega. Let's do a Wellspring Crystal. Once more, that's actually kind of huge. I don't know if I want to... I really like Brutal Blast. I kind of want to just keep it as is. Ooh, Collision Magnet. Let me check what Once More does in this game. Because that can vary. There it is. Once More. Ensures that you always retain 1 HP throughout a combo that would otherwise finish you off unless you're already at 1 HP. That is huge. So, like, that previous boss, where I just kept getting comboed and died.
Want some? So long! Gather! Want some? You're done!
I swear there are enemies there. Just disappeared.
So long! Gather!
Ah! I don't know what I was thinking there. I don't know why I thought triangle equaled square. All my years of playing PlayStation games. I should be ashamed.
Take that!
Mimic? Mimic.
Take that! Want some? Take that!
Another large chest. Mimic? Mimic.
Want some?
I wish the mimics were hidden better.
So long!
Like right now, they're fairly obvious. Tell you what, we're going to take our commercial break right now. So take a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do, and we will be right back in about 3-ish minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we are back. And we're probably gonna finish Terra's arc today. Which is wild because it took us like 3 episodes in full to beat Ventus's, but Terra here. Okay, we also did the tutorial. That's part of it, I guess, but still.
Take that!
I want to see something really quickly. Yay, yay. Those are good. My finished commands. I'm working on surprise. So I have surprise 1. So I'm guessing this is surprise 2. I wish I knew what leveled them up.
Well done.
Pardon me, Captain, but it's about that shooting star I was mentioning to ye.
Mr. Smee, I ordered you to drop that. I'll not have you gushing on about some shooting star.
But Captain, most shooting stars twinkle for a bit and then they go out. But this one, it kept on sparkling and shining even after it crashed down. Why, what if it's really a big, enormous, priceless gemstone?
Idiot! Why didn't you tell me?
Who's trying?
We've a bit of business to attend to and must, I fear, step away. I trust you can see to things till I return.
Sure. When Peter Pan gets here, I'll be waiting.
That old codfish. Looks like he's found himself a new flunky. I'll fly down and distract him. Men, you move in and nab the treasure.
Are you Peter Pan?
That's me.
The light is not yours to take.
Terra reminds me of Sora that he just runs in blindly. Yeah. And poor Terra just keeps getting put in all the wrong situations where the random person he just meets is the bad guy.
Heal! Gather!
Didn't think that would work on him. I think this is the only time you get to beat up a Disney hero in Kingdom Hearts that I can think of.
So long! What do you want with the light?
Light? What light?
Look, Pan!
Don't you pay okay, well, but Hercules is like a contest of strength. Like that's a. I feel like that's a little bit different. You're right, but
That hurt!
because that's like a sanctioned contest. It's like you both agree to it.
Now what is this?
But
Pirate treasure,
I'm
of
talking more
course.
just like
Jewels, doubloons, you know.
fighting
the
like
usual
an
stuff.
enemy in.
I've been guarding a pile of loot?
Sounds like you've been tricked.
I'll say. I owe you an apology. I picked a fight over nothing.
Oh, it was all in good fun. Not every day I get to fight such a good swordsman. Say, what's your name anyway?
Terra.
Right then, Terra. Which way did Hook go?
They said something about a shooting star.
Shooting star? Tinkerbell must be in danger. Men, guard that treasure with your lives!
That was
Aye,
a jump to conclusions.
You go and get him, Pan!
Well, I should be on my way.
Terra has learned no lessons. I just learned something, sword something, and I don't know what it is. So we'll put Geo Impact in. That's kind of cool. I leave you guys alone for 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Unversed. Stay back.
Defeat the countless unversed, and by countless we mean as many as the PSP could render.
Heal. Gather.
That's interesting. I couldn't target the ones back here yet with that.
Gather. You're done.
Boy, you sure cut that monster down to size.
Ahoy! How fare ye, lad?
Hook!
Go hide.
Fine. All's well.
What's that?
Tinkerbell, one of Peter Pan's dearest friends.
Can I take a look?
So long as I have his precious pixie, Pan's demise is all but assured.
So when am I rewatching Jaws? What? That would require me to watch Jaws. I've never
I
seen
didn't give it that
Jaws.
much thought. Just doing
I
what
can't
my heart
rewatch it
tells me.
unless I've watched
That's
it.
mutiny! and you'll walk the plank for it. That sound!
Hooray! We sure showed hook this time!
Yes, we. I'm sure it is on my dad's server. I can check.
Every star up there is another world.
Terra.
Yep. Hard to believe there are so many worlds out there besides our own. The light is their hearts. And it's shining down on us like a million lanterns.
Or not. Doesn't seem to be working right now.
I don't get it.
In other words, they're just like you, Ven.
What does that mean?
You'll find out someday, I'm sure.
I want to know now.
Terra, be nice to Ben. He has memory loss. Long and short, I think.
Oh, so much for the pirate treasures.
Did you guys really want the jewels and gold that badly?
Nah, we don't care about that stuff.
My metaphor and I want to know now.
Ben was counting on us.
I'll tell you what. Put the stuff that's really special to you in there. That can be your treasure.
Yeah! Real swell idea. Thanks!
How on earth am I going to fit a Maserati in here?
This light. It's so warm.
An organic wayfinder?
Somewhere out there, there's this tree with star-shaped fruit.
It's like we're destined to be here. You love this scene? Is that irony or is that seriousness? I genuinely can't tell through text.
Ven. I wonder if we'll ever be a team again. Looks like all the things that once held us together just push us further away. And now the light has led me here. What am I supposed to do?
Hey, slow down. Would you just wait for me? Give it up already? Come on, Sora. I can't run anymore.
Light. Was I guided here in order to meet that boy?
Oh, ahoy! We're over here! Riku, race ya! First one to the boat gets to be captain! Come on! You call that running? Hey, did you come from the outside world?
Why would you say that?
because nobody lives out here. And I know you're not from the main island.
Smart kid. So how about you? What are you doing here?
Oh, my friend's dad took us out on the boat. This is where we like to play. But they won't let us row out here by ourselves. Not till we get older.
Must be hard, huh? Stuck in one place.
I heard once there was a kid who left for good. So how did you get here anyway?
We're having trippy visions.
Is there some reason you're interested in the outside world?
Yeah. I want to be strong one day. Like that kid who left. He went to the outside world. I bet he's really strong now. I know it's out there somewhere. The strength that I need.
Strength for what?
To protect the things that matter. You know, like my friends.
Outside this tiny world is a much bigger one.
You're breaking the rules.
In your hand, take this key. So long as you have the makings, then through this simple act of taking, its wielder you shall one day be, and you will find me, friend. No ocean will contain you then. No more borders around or below or above, so long as you champion the ones you love.
Terry, you're not a real master.
Riku! Come on, hurry it up!
You gotta keep this a secret, okay? Otherwise all the magic will wear off.
Hey, what was that all about?
You know.
Know what? Why won't you tell me? Who was that guy? Somebody you know?
Maybe.
Oh, there you go again. Just tell me.
I really can't. I've got to keep it a secret.
And then they'll conveniently forget about it.
Secret keeper in the world.
Nice try.
Oh, Riku.
Protect the things that matter. Right. My friends matter to me too. So, I still have things that I have to protect.
Ends of the Earth, a well-balanced Keyblade that provides extra boosts to all your stats. Yeah, safe grown-ups don't make kids keep secrets. That's, yeah, that line.
Is it Ben?
We used to joke sometimes in seminary we have to do safe environment training to keep, you know, talk about keeping an eye out, keeping people who are vulnerable safe. And it's important stuff, and I'm not making light of that. But we would sometimes, the program we would use is called Virtus, and we would sometimes joke in movies like, that's not Virtus approved.
Master Xehanort, you wish to see me?
There is no time to lose. I have terrible news. Ventus has stumbled upon the secrets of his origins.
Ven? I just saw him. He passed right in front of me. What happened?
Ventus is on his way home. If you could have seen the fury in his eyes. I'm certain he's capable of anything. I fear the boy may attempt to force the truth out of Ericus. Master Terra, you must hurry back and see to your friend's safety.
Of course.
Terra, your new nickname is Fiddle? Because you're getting played like one.
But you must exist no more.
Ben!
What?
Master! Have you gone mad?
Terra, I command you, step aside.
No!
You will not heed your master?
I won't!
Why do all my attempts to reach you fail? If you don't have it in your heart to obey, then you will have to share Ventus's fate.
Enough, Terra! He's right!
Quiet!
Terra!
Such a bassoon. It really is.
You may be my master, but I will not let you hurt my friend!
Has the darkness taken you, Terra?
Mark Hamill's voice acting is so good. Just chewing the scenery. He knows what's up.
Wait, Terra!
So now we get to see what actually happened here. Yeah, Ericus is actually not a good mentor. I think that's one of the things that I like about Birth by Sleep in total is that, you know, yes, Xehanort's objectively evil, but Ericus is not good, and our three heroes are trying their best to figure it out in the middle of everything. And doing various jobs of quality.
Want some?
Weak.
Heal!
Let the darkness die! Hey!
Here! Here!
Get surprised, Master Ericus. Yes, yes, you can scream.
Heal!
Ooh, no.
Let's go!
Prepare yourself!
Yeah, so long!
Weak.
Heal! Want
Let
some?
the darkness die! Hey!
Here!
Perfectly normal human sounds.
Heal! Take that!
Let the darkness die! Let the darkness die!
Ow! Dang it! I might. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna equip a second cure ability, just because of how much of a truck he hits with. I'm gonna take. I can take Magniga off, or Fyra, I guess. Collision Magnet can probably be replaced with, I'll say another Freeze Ray. Sounds like it'd be really much more useful here. Jambling?
Want some? Let the darkness ride! Let the darkness die!
Ah!
Heal!
Getting a bunch of cheap shots. Thank goodness I have once more though. So otherwise that would have been over real quick.
Heal! Take that!
Can you stop, please?
Heal! Want some? Heal! Say goodbye! Heal!
Master Ericus. I think it's one of the hardest bosses in this game, honestly.
Heal! Want some?
I don't even know how I beat this boss the first time with what I was not understanding how to combine things.
Take that!
Oh, cool. You can teleport now.
Heal! Want some? Heal! Prepare yourself!
Oh! I'm gonna lose Dark Impulse here, but living is more important.
Prepare yourself! Heal! Take that! Heal! Let the darkness die! Heal!
What is this malarkey?
Want
some?
Prepare yourself!
Heal!
Prepare yourself! Let the darkness die!
Heal!
Let the darkness die!
Heal! Take that!
Prepare yourself!
I have prepared myself. Oh, we almost have him. I just need to not die. Boom. Vanitas was the most difficult boss. That's fair. The hardest boss for me is the secret ultra boss in this version that wasn't in the original. That
What
boss
have
is
I
tough.
done? Master, I just wanted to keep Ven safe.
No, you were right. I failed you, Terra. Perhaps I've no one to blame but myself for the darkness inside you. And now, I've done worse. Raised my Keyblade against you and Ventus. My own heart is darkness.
The pretty lady so much. Now the boss is washed away from you're like sand in the tide. That's a sentence.
Master Ericus.
What a sight. Why do you trouble yourself with remorse, Master Terra? The man was bent on doing harm to your friend, his own pupil.
Master Xehanort, why?
You know, at times I find your progress quite striking. But you still fall short. Let all that anger out, my boy. Give your heart over to darkness.
What do you mean?
Still so blind. Then I will make you see. Come to the place where all Keyblade wielders leave their mark on fate. The Keyblade Graveyard. There you will watch your dear Ventus and Aqua meet their ends. And the last light within you will die.
Yeah, plot has happened. We defeated Ericus because he wanted to destroy Ventus. And in a fit of anger and darkness, we just destroyed our master.
You won't need a home anymore where you're going.
What? Xehanort!
It looks like the land of departure is departing. But seriously, this is a very somber scene.
Ven, Aqua, I won't let him hurt you.
Venti Vanny Roxasaurus almost got it. Chaos Ripper. Well, before we do that, let's get another, I forgot how ridiculously colored we made him. I hope. Oh, wow, 10 strength. That is huge. What number? Release order or story order? Story? This is actually a prequel to the original. Let me check this. No, I have not been playing them in release order, actually. So I need to do Sinister Sentinel, which I don't even have unlocked. I might do this off camera. We'll see if I unlock it. How many have I played so far? I remember 1 and 2. I've played. This is the 5th one on stream I've played, because I played 1, 2, Birth by Sleep, which is this one, 358, and Rechain of Memories. Yeah, I haven't been playing them in release order, Step Zero, because this one actually, I think 358 came out first, but 358 came out pretty late compared to the others. So I'm doing there's like a generally agreed upon story order to play them. That is mostly like the canon timeline. But with the addition of playing this as like a flashback, essentially. Just swaps 2 and 358. I know 358 came out after 2. Yeah, and this one came out after 358, but not by much. They were made by completely different teams. But I think this one was made more or less by the main team, whereas Hand made 358 and Coded. Please get down here. Oh, I should re-equip Magnega. Even though my magic isn't that good, Magnega is just that good. Wasp fight? Iron Imprisoner 1.
You're done. Heal.
Yeah, I should replace Confusion Strike for Magnega. If this unlocks Sinister Sentinel, we'll do Sinister Sentinel. If not, I will do it off camera. Okay, I'm gonna just handle that off camera. Because just watching me do a bunch of fights, I don't think is the most exciting thing. Don't want to combine Brutal Blast. Wait, what can I combine Magnega with? Brutal Blast. Okay, well, I don't want to get rid of either of those. I thought watching people do fights on Twitch, what Twitch was based on. I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but I feel like moving forward with this story is more interesting than just watching me fight arena matches that are more or less identical.
What I do for friendship.
I need to save. I haven't saved lately. Love the droning chant in the background, by the way, of this track. It's so haunting. Ah, it's the opalescent tornadoes. They have returned with a vengeance. Looks like I do a better job of outrunning them as Terra, though.
Want some?
This Keyblade is really powerful. Assuming it can never hit. But it's quite lengthy, which is nice. And I mean, 10 strength. That's huge. It's double the last one.
Let's go. So
His whip sounds make it sound like he has hiccups. I'll never unhear that. Thank you, Step Zero. I hate this giant enemies one. It's just obnoxious.
Take that.
Oh, Petoni! Come on in, Raiders. How you doing, Petoni? Thank you for the raid. Where'd you get to in Ocarina of Time? Last I saw, raid with no name. So, Petona raid. Because Kingdom Hearts loves... Petoni loves Kingdom Hearts and plot. Finally, he admits it. Unless I was bored of Sleeping Keys, he can have no Kingdom Hearts within him. I hate that that almost sounds like something I'd hear in the game. Thanks, Petoni. But good to see you, Kryptonite. Good to see you, Otto. Good to see you, Trekkie. Hope everyone's doing well. We are playing Birth by Sleep. This is the prequel game in the Kingdom Hearts series. Well, one of them. But anyway, we are about to face the final boss for the second time, because you have to do this one 3 times because there's 3 people. Hey, TC.
Gather.
Turns out the water temple wasn't that hard. I was just a child when I first tried it. Yeah, the water... Honestly, most of the temples are pretty linear. The forest temples, not. Which is good. We finished Death Mountain Temple, and now I'm hunting to get to the water temple, currently in the well at Kakariko Village. Ooh. Have fun in the well. I recently did a playthrough of Ocarina of Time, and I enjoy it still. I think it is good. I do think it's overrated, but, you know, lots of things are overrated. Magnet probably won't be that useful. But after that, I decided, you know, I've never beaten Majora's Mask, and I was like, I should go play that. And I'm enjoying it, but I'm also a little disappointed. The dungeon design is very linear. Anyway, prepare for a lot of plot. Freeze raid, does that mean I have to stay here? Yes. Forever and ever.
I was told the master was struck down.
Yes, that's right. I was stupid and helped Xehanort do it. The Master. He tried to hurt Ven. I only fought because I wanted to protect him. But I was tricked. Xehanort set the whole thing up. Also, he could awaken the darkness inside me. You were right, Aqua. And so was the Master. I did need to be watched. I went astray. But no more.
Yeah, I could see this being
What else
confusing
is
if
darkness
it was Aqua
but
first.
hate and rage. Xehanort is feeding the dark fires within you, making you fight. You'll go astray again. Tell me, how does that honor our master's memory, Terra?
Xehanort wants me and Vanitas to fight. And make some kind of Keyblade. But the Master said we can't let that happen. And he tried to destroy me for it.
Keyblade?
I still don't know exactly what it is. But it scares me to death. Even just the thought of it.
Relax, man. We're here, and we're gonna take care of you.
I may have to fight Vanitas after all. If I do, guys, I want you to...
The three of us can never be torn apart, all right? I'll always find a way.
I'm asking you, as a friend. Just... put an end to me.
Well, a difficult conversation gets deflected yet again.
Behold, these lifeless keys used to be full of power, united with the hearts of their masters. On this barren soil, Keyblades of light and darkness were locked in combat. As a great Keyblade war raged, countless Keyblade wielders gave up their lives.
I swear you've heard this
all in
before.
search of one
I bet you're gonna hear it
ultimate
again.
key. And it will soon belong to me. Keyblade.
Go Keyblade Rangers.
Aqua!
Go touch Graspy Tony. Have a good time. Thank you for the raid. cutscene is so extra, and I'm here for it. Music's warbly. I think that's just the way it's supposed to be. It sounds fine on my end. Or normal. Gale has the warbles. Shaking your head. Hey, Yenza, good to see you. I got bad news. There's going to be an ad break just as this boss fight starts, but the good news is it's probably going to last longer.
I knew this was a journey you could make. Over the unseen wall that divides darkness and light. And I was not wrong, Terra.
My friend, Ven. You tell me, Xehanort. What did you do to him?
Why, I did him a favor and freed the darkness inside him. Alas, poor Ventus never had the fortitude for such strenuous trials.
Xehanort!
Uh-oh. We're jambling on me here in a multi-round boss fight? The problem is, I don't think I ever got a single defense up in any of my combo, my melding, so that's a problem.
Too slow. Too slow.
I know what the spin cutter does. Oh, that's a good aerial effect.
Too slow. Too slow. Wait.
Heal! You're done!
Too slow.
I was not, in fact, too slow. I actually hit you, but, you know.
Heal!
Whoa! As long as one of you stays away, I can deal with this, but I can't deal with both of you.
Heal!
Too slow. Too slow. Too slow. Too slow.
Okay, that's Vanitas down. Time for some bow jambles.
Go take what Ventus owes you, and take Aqua's life. You see how powerless you are to save them. Savor that rage and despair. Let it empower you.
You will pay, Xehanort. Was my master? No. My father, Ericus, not enough for you? Leave my friends alone!
Yes, boy, that's it. More! Let your whole heart blacken with anger!
Use the hate. No, don't use the hate, actually. Do it. Ooh, this is not starting off good.
Heal! Want some? Freeze! Heal!
No, 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 no. You can't see my heal. That's not fair.
Heal.
No, no.
Concede.
That. Just to heal real quick. Perfectly normal human noises.
Heal. Feel the darkness. Heal.
What? Stupid teleporting old man.
Heal. Want some?
What? No, wrong button. I know you can't see his health bar. He has 4 health bars. We're on number 3. I like to think not being able to see it makes it more exciting in some way.
Taste defeat.
No. Defeat tastes bitter and gross.
Heal. Want some?
Okay, last health bar. Scan is for cowards. I mean, I have scan. You just start with it in this game.
Heal. Take that.
Boom.
Only now have I truly won.
Bring the meat. No, it's heat. We have a lot of health as Terra. Also, this is we have another stage, I think. We ain't out of the woods yet. I wouldn't have resolved that prediction because I think there's another phase.
Oh, there, you see?
You win, TC.
The Keyblade has been forged.
Ben!
And now, Terra, it is time for the final union.
That seems reckless.
What? At last, our moment is here. Out with the old and brittle vessel, and in with a younger, stronger new one. I swore I would survive, and be there to see what awaited beyond the Keyblade War.
You weren't even at the Keyblade War.
And now it is your darkness that shall be the arc that sustains me!
Your heart is breaking. Yeah, Terra gets used pretty hard. Oh, maybe there isn't another phase. Everyone meet Terra Xehanort.
This heart belongs again to darkness. All worlds begin in darkness, and also end. The heart is no different. Darkness sprouts within it. It grows, consumes it. Such is its nature. In the end, every heart returns to the darkness whence it came.
Yeah, there is another phase. That's what I thought. I remember this phase. He plays Lingering Will. Yeah, Terranort. Well, he doesn't just look like a painting. He looks like the guy who called himself Xehanort and then
Your body
Ansem.
submits. Your heart
And
succumbs.
Ansem
So
and
why does your mind resist?
Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Since you played Terra last, and this is the end of the game, you felt your heart crack open. Ooh. Lingering Will is raw. Hey, you gotta see through me. Can't take my points back if I spend them. Fair enough. May Meep bless us in this battle between Lingering Will. Ooh. They changed my Keyblade.
Yield! Enough! Yield!
This is a game of blocking and dodging.
Yield! Enough! Enough! You have lost!
You sure about that? Game ain't over yet.
Yield! You have lost!
Okay, wasn't sure how I was supposed to dodge that one.
Yield!
This battle feels very anime.
Enough!
Also, we're at 2 of 4 health bars, so we're halfway. You recall this being easier than Xehanort. I strongly disagree from my memory. My first time playing this is where I got to, and but I'm not very good at the whole block and dodge, the whole block and parry thing. So, you know, I don't play Souls-likes. No, I don't need you to do that. I need you to get away.
You have lost! Enough! Yield!
He just healed! What is this? Bosses aren't allowed to heal. This is cheating. This is against the Geneva Convention.
Yield!
Excuse me, I was busy healing. Get out of there, get out of there. Need to heal. What is this malarkey?
You have lost! Enough! You have lost!
Dig it! Okay, I have to be careful here to do retry and not continue, because if I hit continue, I go back to the beginning of the whole fight. Do something.
Enough! Yield! Enough!
Game cheats. It's official. You saw it. Can I have my points back? You're gonna have to talk to Gale about that one. I told him not to redeem it too quickly.
You have lost! Yield!
Oh, you made the distinction between Terranort and Xehanort. That's okay. I can see that. I'll allow it.
You have lost! Yield! Enough!
Why can you interrupt my heals, but I can't interrupt yours? That's cheating. I didn't have Leaf Bracer equipped.
Enough! You have lost! Yield!
As long as I have hope, I have not lost.
Enough!
I'm trying to hit the block button and it's doing nothing there. Faith off and love, yes. Thank you, Red Dwarf. I can heal too. Look at me. That deflected those. That's interesting.
You have lost!
Have not.
Yield! You have lost! Enough!
I was blocking. I hate how much he sunlocks.
You have lost!
This is just an unfair fight.
Yield! Enough!
Okay, we're on the last, not the last bar, but the penultimate bar.
Enough! Yield! You have lost!
I wasn't moving! I swear, I was doing blocks, not dodges. If I'm not targeting here, these just go off into the ether, which is fun.
You have lost! Yield! You have lost!
Have not. I think freeze rate's really gonna be the thing that gets us there. What? What? That's not even his Keyblade. He's using the Keyblade of the Master.
You have lost!
Out of there. What? He barely touched my toe. I call shenanigans on that one. I should have. Followers only mode. It's always been followers only mode. Gearbox. Also good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Enough! Yield!
Are you serious?
Yield! You have lost! You have lost! Enough!
Sorry if I'm not terribly talkative, Chad. I just really gotta lock in.
Yield!
Okay, now we're at the healing phase. So I think he only does that a few times before he's like, yeah, it's not worth it. Okay, now we're at the summoning rocks phase. What? I call baloney. You're learning about LMMs, and I don't know what's worse. The models effectively guess the next word to make a response, but we have mathematically determined how language works. And then I had to read what Gale wrote.
Enough! Yield!
It's my least favorite kind of boss, the blocking and response ones. I just like the Unga Bunga in my Kingdom Hearts.
Enough! Yield! Enough!
Get out of there! Why are you not moving?
Yield! Enough!
That was cheating, and you know it, Xehanort.
You have lost. Yield.
I wasn't trying to move away from that. I was actually trying to do that.
What? You have lost.
Don't know how I didn't die there, but I'll take it.
Yield. You have lost.
He'll heal. Yep, great.
What? Yield.
Okay, I just gotta move. Once you're moving, you can't stop to block those without getting stun locked.
You have lost. Enough.
Silly me, I thought blocking his attack might stop his attack. Okay, I wasn't trying to dodge there, I was trying to block, but whatever. Can't catch me, Mr. Gingerbread Man. Quit healing yourself!
Yield. You have lost. Enough. Yield. Enough. Yield.
Yeah, I think he's out of the... Yeah, he's out of the healing range, so that's something.
Yield.
Cool, cool. Teleporting before I can even respond and do an action. We love that.
Yield. Enough.
Apparently the secret to dodging meteors is just be in the air.
You have lost!
Okay, we're back on track. We're back on track. Okay, we lost our track. We're not dead. Oi, this attack again. I was blocking.
Enough!
No, get out.
Enough!
Ignore it. Everything, Terra. Oh my goodness.
You have lost!
I don't know what to do about these meteors, to be honest. I guess block works pretty well, actually.
Yield! You have lost! Sink into darkness!
A gun is not darkness. It's just a big gun. Okay, okay. No! I timed that so poorly. No! Oh! So close. If I had just healed better there.
Yield!
This is gonna have to be the last attempt, because I need to get to dinner. Have not.
Enough! You have lost! Yield!
Okay, I managed to make it past the healing phase without him healing. I think. Nope, never mind. He still heals in that phase.
Enough! You have lost!
Haven't heard a guy want to block. No, he'll air dash around for some reason instead, even though he swears he's on the ground. Okay, this is the third heal.
Enough!
I hate that if he gets into that attack pattern, it is unblockable.
You have lost! Yield!
We doing rocks? We doing rocks now, boss? Big rocks?
Take this!
Oh, we doing that already?
Yield! Enough! Enough! Yield! Enough!
Hey, Britt. Can't really focus too much on chat right now. This is the final boss. It's kind of kicked my butt, but otherwise doing well. I love a boss who stun locks.
You have lost!
I don't know how I blocked that, but I did, apparently. It seems to me the secret tech to dodging meteors is just go to the edge, where they can't get you.
You have lost! Yield! You have lost! Enough!
Also, my auto-targeting loses him inconsistently, which is, you know, fun.
Yield!
I was blocking. I call shenanigans on that one.
Yield! You have lost!
Yay, I'm getting sunlocked by the rocks.
Yield! Enough! You have lost! You have lost!
Have not.
Yield!
Nope, I hit blocks. I wasn't dodging. Thank goodness I have once more, because otherwise that would have been it. Oh, shoot. That was so obnoxious. We're gonna have to fight that next time. I don't have time. It's dinner time. I gotta go. We gotta refight the other two stages. Or I'm gonna have to go in with, like, another cure. I'm thinking, like, 2 freeze raids, bunch of cures. We'll figure it out. That's a next week problem. We were so close. We almost had him on his last health bar. It's such a cheap boss because it just stunlocks you. So unfair. Life is unfair. Pity me. Woe is me. These are my hardships. Nah, it's all good. This is what video gaming is. I might do a little power leveling off camera, maybe because I'll do the. Actually, I know I will because I'll do the Mirage Arena. That's why he said. Keep saying you've already lost. Oh, don't help his case. I gotta save. I'm gonna just save real quick just in case. But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning into Let's Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. Join us again tomorrow for Spirituality Tuesdays. We're playing more Papers, Please. It's probably the last time we'll be playing that before switching games. Let us play, indeed. Let us homily. Wednesday, midweek Minecraft, and bonus stream starting 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Daylight Time. What? 7 p.m. Eastern, East Coast. Salad sermon, indeed. I will be playing 4 Swords, The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords, with Breedy Bard, Brosif Lacask, and Liminality Carb. I know we've rated Bree and Brosif, and so you probably know their names and you've seen maybe in chat. Lim, I haven't ever had the opportunity to raid just because he has different hours than me, but he's a cool dude. He's a Christian streamer, mostly does Final Fantasy XIV, the massively popular free-to-play MMORPG, or so I've heard. But anyway, that'll be a lot of fun, so look forward to that. That'll be going from like 7 to 10, and it will probably be the next few Wednesdays. And we're all going to be co-streaming, so share chat and all that, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I'm super excited to be doing this gaming with Bree and Brosif and Lim. They're all great people, so that should be good. And then Thursday, more Legend of Zelda, because we're going to finish, I promise we're going to finish it, Link's Awakening. So that'll be good. So anyway, yeah, thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And yeah, I will see y'all later. And let's see whose life that we can raid into. Speaking of Bree, I'm going to send you over to Flame. They do a lot of collabs together. That's the joke. Flame is a fun dude. He's playing something called Y2K, a postmodern RPG. I've heard of this game, but I know nothing about it. It looks chaotic. Go have fun. Raid calls Father Raid as usual. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.